Welcome to our second episode of our video series chamberTALK. Today we are in Großraming in Austria at the ECMA session, and we are meeting Trio Vitruvi. Hello.
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 Hello. So it's Alex, piano, and Niklas, violin, and Jacob, cello. And I remember quite clearly when we first met you. It was at the ECMA session in Graveneck. And I remember clearly when you played this second piano trio of Shostakovich. It was this slow movement, if I remember correctly, with those piano chords and these endless lines of the strings, and then this very bizarre movement of the allegretto.
So this piano trio has a special background story. Could you just quickly tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Shostakovich, he first of all, it's the tradition of dedicating a trio to a friend or someone you know who you have lost. Yeah. And Shostakovich dedicated it to his close friend Ivan Solatinsky, and so it's in that sense a kind of an obituary or an elegy for somebody. So there's this theme of death in the music, and the second part of the background, in very short terms, is that he wrote it in 1944. So in the middle of this horrific European and Russian crisis of World War II, and throughout the music, it's quite clear that themes of the Holocaust and also of the oppressive regime of Stalin come through in the music quite clearly. I think with folk elements as well as some very machine-like elements in the music as well to represent the regime and the government and all these terrible things which were happening at the time.
And you told us that you were very close to this story when you played this piece in Russia. How about
that? Right. We had a very strong experience. I mean, we always, when we play this trio, we are completely exhausted afterwards. It's such an intense journey which you start. It's not a very long trio actually. It's just around half an hour, so to say. But when you get from the beginning to the very end, you're completely finished with big capital letters. Finished when you've done the trio. And we were invited to play a few concerts in St. Petersburg. And the very last one we played, his son, Dmitri Solatinsky, was actually invited to the concert.
So the son of
Ivan Solatinsky, yeah. Exactly. And Dmitri, he grew up with Shostakovich. So a man who was extremely close to the composer, and having him, I mean, besides the sheer personal and private story, but also just having a person who's been so close to the composer, created it, and as well as so much other great music, it was a very special thing. And there was a certain energy,
pretty well,
in the room. It was just magnificent. So
but actually, your playing and your performance also in Graveneck was very stunning, and
thank you.
It was a concert of best of concert. Yeah, many ensembles played, and you guys kept in my remembrance because of your marvelous stage presence. I just remember you're very moving with the music, and your facial expression really fits this music. And so maybe we stay with this topic for the next some minutes.
So I want to talk about a study which was released in 1990, and there they played some video recordings to different piano performances to professional music students, and they let them judge the playing. And what all these students didn't know was that it was always the same audio file, but only the video file changed, and the people in the video did playback. So. But the judgment results for the different videos varied dramatically, which means the eye influences our ears very strongly. All know this. Yeah. So, how do you rate the importance of communication and movement on stage?
For me personally, I like to see the people live on stage. I've often seen also soloists with an orchestra where it's just a machine. You can see nothing. And if there's just a hint of a smile, or if you can actually see the person is enjoying what he's doing at some point, I got goosebumps then from this kind of situation. I think it's very nice for me and important to see people have a good relationship up on stage and moving with music, not being too static.
So, do you practice things like going on stage or leaving stage and bowing, or?
We have a couple of rules we established very early on. For example, in which order we enter the stage.
Oh, yeah. Simple things like that.
So,
sure, you have to talk about it.
It's just so we don't cross each other on stage. It's very basic. And then,
but facial expressions and all these kind of things, we have never ever agreed to. Oh, here we make a very sad face, and okay, maybe a bit early on we should make a happy face. Of course not.
Yeah, but so you developed it by playing the pieces, and it comes spontaneously. Or?
Yeah, I guess it means that part of what's I mean, I guess why we do it as well. The whole thing is also that if it was the same kind of formula every time, it would be the most terrible job in the world. But I think our contents are very different, actually, and it's often a very different experience we come in with, and a very different experience we leave the stage with as well. So yeah, I'm not sure. There's no
recipe
rules
to follow. Or I guess the only advice I can give them on this subject is try to be moved by the music, try to get involved, and then all your presence will come naturally, I think.
Yeah, well said. But did you sometimes watch your videos to review such things, and you see, oh no, it looks ridiculous here? Or
no, actually, the only times we ever heard or watched some recordings of the concert we played was just to listen, just to make sure, just to listen to something. We never to look, never to.
Yeah, no, our teachers of Artemis Quartet, they are really funny because they always say to us, "Oh, you play very good, but what about your faces?" So for you, it's more easier because you have your face. You can just do your facial expression. You have a mouthpiece. But it sometimes happens that they come over to the stand and draw some smileys in it. That we don't forget that we are here for making music and not just staring at our sheet music. Yes.
Right.
So this is maybe also you could do this sometimes.
But actually, our teacher in Copenhagen sometimes told us to write yes on a chord or a smiley, just so it doesn't sound angry, but it sounds uplifting. But that's more of a musical matter than this.
Yeah, sure. But I think you do it very well. You're moving and facial expression, but could you already say it's a kind of acting, or would it be a bad word? I mean, if you say it's acting, I don't mean it's. I think it has to come, of course, of the emotion of the music. Maybe you could say this.
I don't think any of us consciously embellish, or if the music is happy, we sit like this. We don't do it consciously. I think it comes kind of naturally when it comes. It's not all the time.
No, it's never.
But I know people who treat it like acting. The guy I know who always, when it's in major, he smiles, and when it's minor, he really makes a sad face. And it's such a caricature, and I don't like that at all. It steals attention from the music, I think.
And also it requires a certain amount of energy and energy and concentration, which should be reserved for making music. It requires it shouldn't be split up so that part of it is exaggerating some kind of.
But do you think there is a point where people could overdo it so that they do too much on stage
disturbs the playing?
To disturb the playing.
I think
there is this point.
I think it's very subjective from an audience point of view. Some people like more, some people like this, but I think I think it's something I feel. I mean, I can just, if it's honest or not, I think pretty quickly. If it's not honest,
so you say you feel if it's out of the emotional or if it's acting. Like
yeah, I think so. It's like a bullshit detector or something. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I think the same, because I had some performances I have been to, and it was like, okay, this is not real what he's doing.
Right.
It's too much.
Right.
But
well, I mean, all this talk about the facial expression, it's just a question about that you let go and you just get guided by the music. We've said it in different ways before earlier. But if I'm gonna pinch Alex in a moment really hard, no, it's not just you're just going to smile actually. But eventually, if I pinch somebody, pain is going to occur, and something is going to happen facial. You know, we do a certain phases when it's pain and certain phases when it's happiness. And if you're just being guided by the music, or just give in and just do what the emotions tells you from the music. You know, it's some people do it more and some people do it less.
You know, and everybody of us has some special movements. Of course, we're all different persons, and we observe it in our rehearsal. So there are some movements guide us all the time. So maybe what is a movement Niklas always does typically? Hard question.
Yeah, that's actually a tough question.
Or maybe you could say what Alex is doing. So you're very.
That's
it's really good
one
question,
movement in the slow Mozart trio. In slow movement of a Mozart trio plays, and whenever Alex's left hand has nothing to do, it does.
Yeah, you're conducting a lot.
Like that. That's the only thing that springs to mind.
Yeah, for Ricarda, for example, if the line goes up, she's also lifting with her body, it's like, and at the same time her eyes get a bit square. It looks ridiculous.
This is actually an interesting, just very shortly, an interesting thing, because what for me it highlights is that how clearly physical a thing music is, and extremely and something which really is felt as a physical thing, and not just as sound or sound is physical. I think I guess that's what. It's natural that it's a part of your breathing, and it's a part of you know subconscious things. And I mean, we hear noises. We hear noises from each other, or sometimes we laugh. Or there's different things. Strange, funny things are always happening.
So funny things. Now we can start with our sax challenge. We have a saxophone with us, and the only thing you have to do is to blow into the instrument, and we will see what happens.
Right. So we do it with everybody.
Yeah.
So you have to now.
Okay, I never. Am I gonna start?
You can choose one maybe.
Okay, who wants to?
I think you should.
No, I think maybe.
No, I definitely don't think it should be me actually.
But you know, I have this feeling that you are very talented.
Yeah, but I know I'm not. So
go get it, Alex.
Go.
Okay. I need instructions.
You need a strap.
No.
Just put it around your neck, and then you can.
Should I stand up or?
As you like.
Yeah. Okay, it's much more for you.
So now we have a problem because.
Put your right.
Maybe we don't use this strap because it's first strap and it's not
okay,
long enough.
Okay.
Okay, I'll look at.
You're a strong man. You can carry a saxophone.
Years of weightlifting because I have left so big.
Okay, just put your right thumb under this and your left on this knob.
That's really fun.
There. Okay, then I hope you.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got it,
And then you have to put your upper incisors on the mouthpiece.
T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Just
close
blow.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Careless
sex-
whisper.
sex-
Give us
sex-
careless whisper.
And then just blow it. Yeah, you don't squeeze your lips too much because then the reed can't vibrate. So.
It's quite brilliant.
Great. great.
Fantastic.
That was really.
That's beautiful.
Hey,
Alex.
brilliant. Good job. Just don't
really
leave it now,
melody
okay?
also.
So now we're gonna start trio, cello, violin, and saxophone.
Yeah, we will try. You can switch instruments now. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
It's
guys.
such a
Thank
pleasure.
It's very interesting. So
For
we
us as
are
well.
looking forward to your concert tomorrow, and we will observe your facial expressions and your movements very clearly and review it to you. So this was our second episode, and stay tuned for the next ones. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, this is a brilliant idea.
Hey guys!
We are the Arcis Saxophon Quartett.
Well, what can I say? Jure and Claudia are on holidays again.
So we hope you enjoyed our second episode of chamberTALK.
Please stay tuned for the next release in 2 months. We have a long list of brilliant guests.
Like, share and spread the word.
And don't forget to subscribe.